Topic is Russia right now. What's happening? What we're doing in Russia? We actually bombed a civilian hospital. You know this because we actually took out We're helping Russia take out. What are we doing? Civilian hospitals, Christians.
Okay,
Right.
that hospital was built by the U.S. Military initially when we first got there.
Why are we doing this?
It was very practical, but there was reports from Afghan soldiers and the military on the ground that the Taliban were using part of the hospital as a headquarters for almost like a lookout to an observation post, OP, to direct fire and other things against the Allied forces, in this case U.S. and Pakistani forces. And so they used this, so they end up taking it out. That's what the end result was. That's really what's happened. Similar to, if you go back in history in World War II, it was a big temple or mosque or something up in Italy, part of Italy on top of a mountain on the way to Rome. That was directing water fire and other stuff with artillery on the U.S. troops below. And initially, the U.S. was designated as a museum, as some place where that you should not touch. Until Eisenhower decided to say, you know what, our soldiers are getting killed. We got to do something, and he took out the church and mosque, whatever it was. And that's what you got to do in war. You got to protect the troops. And if it's a hospital, they use this ground game, so be it. That's called, you got to do it. You can't fight it politically. You got to fight to win. So, you know what? If you're going to blame anyone, blame the Taliban for using it as an OP.
Right.
That's the bottom line in there. We got to stop catering to this left-wing, sorry people. It doesn't work. You cannot win a war that way. We lost Vietnam that way, and we're going to lose this that way. We lost Iraq that way because you got Obama that pulled the troops out when he should have.
Right. Well,
and it's not Bush's fault. It's Obama's fault because when Bush left office, the surge was going on. It was succeeding. In 2011, Iraq was so stable that both Obama and Biden called it an accomplishment and excellent. They said they would put a pride and joy, and then they could pull the troops out. Well, realizing that in order to keep it stable, you need to leave status of forces agreement because Obama wanted to be a president that ended two wars. And instead, he ended up starting World War III.
Well, and remember, under the Bush administration, how many school shootings do we have? We have maybe one or two. Unlike the Obama regime, these are elementary schools, by the way. This was, remember, all these shootings that
the Bush administration,
college.
Have any mass shootings the way it is going on now.
No, the gunman was murdered. Remember, the gunman only managed to take out one or two people.
The Caliban was on the Clinton.
Right.
So, the deal here is very simple. When you have a progressive liberal in office, criminals run rampant.
Yes, they do.
That's the bottom line.
Good point. That's a great point because it is true. What you're just saying here, it's based on fact. It's not make believe.
There's an increase in mentality because
right.
They're very lazy in law enforcement. They're very disrespectful in what they need to do.
Right.
They're very laid back. They don't take the extra step to try and protect the family, protect life, protect the Constitution, protect individual freedoms. To make us look great overseas, we don't bow down to anybody. We don't apologize to anybody for what we do because we're out there to protect the world, to protect this country, and help the world to be a safer, more freer place. And learn from us and not kowtow because when we lead, the world is safer. But when we lead from behind or we turn tail, the world becomes a more dangerous place like now.
It's true. That is exactly what's happening right now. That's what you're saying. It's all based on facts. It's not.
And I want to tell you something.
It's all based on facts.
Secretary of State Kerry that should not only be fired, he should not only resign if he doesn't get fired, what should be considered a treat to this person. How dare he say that Israel started this whole thing and was the whole lie?
I know. That's what he's doing. He's putting Israel, throwing them right on the bus. That's what he's done. That's what America basically threw Israel on the bus right now. We're just stamping on Israel right now, and that's not what this country is about. We should support Israel. We should support Israel, not crush our allies. I mean, go after the ISIS, not destroy our allies, and that's what we're doing right now.
Right now, here is a report that the U.S. that the Iraqis took out the head of ISIS that's wounded him in a bombing raid of some sort, and now that he's in a hospital on the U.S. Guard getting healthy instead of killing him or taking him to prison. They're saving his life, and he'll be out there again. Don't forget, it was Obama that released the guy which later became the head of ISIS as part of the deal getting out.
What about Edward Snowden too as well? And this guy, he's getting sanctions too as well. And this great.